Looks like everything is exciting when you know your day starts out like that. But day starting out, it's already, what time is it? I don't even know now. It is almost 11 o'clock. Good morning, everyone. And yes, it is still morning. And it's Fantabulous Friday. Good morning, everyone. This is Carroll Sue, a.k.a. Nani Boss, live with
TwoSistas. Good morning, everyone. This is Janis, aka Wellness Diva 5.0, Organization Diva 10.0. Boom, there I said it. Upgraded myself once again. Today, before we get started, we know that our brother is not on social media, but we know our other siblings are. We always like to put it out there. A very happy birthday to our brother Victor, who is 67 today. Yikes. Happy birthday.
Because we have a family message group within social media as well as text messaging. I love it how everyone's getting confused on the eldest sibling. Well, actually, you were confused over that. I knew she was 69. And when you said 70, I'm like, I don't think that's right, but I'll go with it. And they're in succession. Our parents were a product. Their family was a product of, that 50s boomer, what a lot of people call us boomers, which I hate, by the way, but I don't really care. I embrace the baby boomers. And the first three siblings are all roughly about a year apart. So it goes 69. Francis will be 68 October 13th. And then I would say Victor, which I used to call him Dictor as a child, he turned 67. So very, very happy special birthday to our brother Victor/Dictor. And we can actually send him the link to our podcast so he can actually participate and watch us. He's a little technology. He's so funny because he's an engineer, top engineer, works for a subdivision of NASA, connected with NASA. Very smart individual, PhD, but yet when it comes to technology, he takes after his babyest sister, not the babyest, but the next baby sister, which would be me, on not always having that patience, but we can certainly send him the link to let him know that, yay, Victor, we are shouting you out. It is your special day. So we hope you have a great day. What a gorgeous day it is outside. We are doing some maneuvering, doing, John still, loves to garden and switch things up. And he was finding an area on this beautiful, fantabulous, glorious morning that he was getting a little tired of. So we have these two big, huge, built in to the pool planters. And the gorgeous flowers are in there. The center is the birds of paradise, and there's these other little flowers, but the little flowers all around it have taken over. You don't get to see the beautiful white stones, and they're called, there's a certain name for them, but very, very pretty. So he's ripping them all out. So, and washing the stones, and then had to buy more stones. So he's got this big project going on. And I said, yeah, bye-bye. I've got my pickleball round robin that today slammed the ball. Out of the 6 games, I won them all except for the last one, but it was 12-10. So it was a very tight game. So I was on point today, which it's always good to, when you have your fitness level and you nail it, because there are days that we have to embrace it. Sometimes we get derailed. We don't do it that well. Or, we can't complete it. How many times you start a workout and you can't get it done because you get derailed by a phone call? Oh, shoot, this email. Oh, damn, I've got to run to the store. I forgot to do that. We know how that goes. So to actually be able to focus fully on a workout, a fitness that you are not only passionate about, but, you love playing. I absolutely love the game of pickleball. And I killed it today. So I'm going to give myself, I can give myself a 10 because 10 is like, that's big. So I'm going to give myself maybe about 7. But I was rocking.
I would go with the 10, and then you have to start subtracting shit out. So by my estimation, you would be a 9.7.
Oh, aren't you sweet? I love that. Yeah, I was really, my serve was on. I had some great low corner serves, which are very hard to return. And it's a serve I've been working on. So I was really, really pleased about that. So, here it is Fantabulous Friday. For those of you that are new to our podcast, because we always got to remind ourselves that we have new people joining our podcast all the time, and kind of give you a rundown of, how our podcast works. We are always, always, always authentically us, goofy, serious, passionate, angry sometimes, happy, all those, all the emotions that are human emotions, we are. We don't shy away from any of that. We also, dive into things that happen to us personally, how they're relatable to all of you, because that's how people learn and feed off of each other, by our missteps, but also finding ways to navigate through maybe a hard time, an emotional time, a derailment, a pity party where you overdose on chocolate because you just were not having a good day, or recipes, fitness, or anything that's related to health and wellness. And in fact, that is why we came up with the 5 themes that we do have. So I'm going to share the first 2, and you're going to share the next 3. The first 2, we start off now. We know that Monday is not technically the first day of the week. It is the second day of the week, because Sunday is actually the first day of the week. And originally, when we started our podcast, we were doing our podcast 7 days a week. But yeah, we made the decision to do 5 days, and I'm kind of liking that. And there will be some times where it may warrant that we might do a Saturday or Sunday podcast, but right now we just do them Monday through Friday, and Monday is Monday Mindset, because that is really the first dark day of the week for those going back to work, school. It just is, right? You work towards the weekend, to have that TGIF on Friday and Saturday and Sunday, and then all of a sudden you're back to Monday. So you have to have a really good mindset. Mindset really kind of sets your week off. So if Monday mindset, then we roll on to Tuesday, which is Triumph Tuesday, because a lot of times when you're trying to check in on Monday and get your mindset right, that you're going to be organized for the whole week, we know how easy it is to derail. An appointment comes up, you forgot, put you in a frenzy. Maybe if your child's back to school, your child gets sick, you got to stay home with them, or make arrangements, caregiving for that child. Maybe, you had a disagreement with somebody, friend, family, child, spouse, whatever it may be, partner. And it kind of just puts you in one of those pooky moods, or, something out of your control, which frequently happens, right? An accident, a death in the family, a disappointment, a letdown, and so we have to find ways that our mindset is going to help us. But on Tuesday, we want to kind of celebrate. What did we triumph over? How did we navigate through whatever the garbage of life? Because as much as life is good, there's also garbage and baggage that comes with life, and we've got to navigate. So that's what we do on Tuesdays. We find ways to triumph, and also, chat about those triumphs. And there's no small. There's nothing small. Every triumph means something big or small. And now you can hit for the next 3 days.
Okay, so let's chat about Wednesday, which is known as Wealth Wellness Wednesday in the Two Sisters land of podcasting. It's not about the money or the amount that you give. It's about the action on what to give for the unsuspecting person that's going to receive with so much joy. So it could be something as simple as you're going through the drive-through Dunkin' Donuts, grabbing a coffee, and you pay for the order behind you. Something to do with surprising an unsuspected individual. And think of the ripple effect that creates, along with our daily tasks and what we do every day on a basis, whether you work at a brick and mortar business, whether you are an entrepreneur working from home. It doesn't matter the amount of money. It's really the cause and effect of how you create that ripple effect. Because as a society, we are just so much better when we go out and share joy in the world. And what better way to do that than to give? And I just love that topic. The next day, Thursday, excuse me, Trending Thursday. Anything trending, obviously, wellness through fitness and nutrition. I always talk about my dream gym, and by all accounts, it's probably going to cost me $30,000 at some point.
Actually, I think that's higher than that.
You're probably correct. You are probably correct. So Trending Thursday are trending type of topics that catch our interest, that maybe catch us off guard, and definitely have, it may be a subject such as, I'm just going to say the P word, politics, that pops up that we talk about. Different trending matters that affect our everyday lives, how that impacts our world. And we all know that for every action, there is a reaction. And why not be the trendsetter instead of setting a negative trend? So we love Trending Thursday. It's Friday. It's Fantabulous Friday. Obviously today, as we mentioned, it's our brother's birthday, but it's also the first day of the month. We also started the last quarter of 2021. I hear a lot of chit chat going on out there about how people are starting, for instance, to prepare for their taxes. For some reason, we start to think taxes before going into the heavy season. I know that I do. And so all those little subjects kind of gathered together. I do want to back up a little bit. When we were, and this has kind of nothing to do about nothing, but something what we already did chat about our brother working with NASA. He's very smart. He's an engineer. And when my husband and I started dating, and I'm sure I probably told you this little story. Our very first date, Gary was obviously trying to impress me and took me out to dinner at a nice place. And we're enjoying the conversation. And oh, what do you do for a living? And Gary says, I'm a rocket scientist. And I looked at him and I'm like, no, you're not. My brother is. So we always, whenever I hear that mentioned, I always get a little chuckle. So just wanted to share that with everyone.
Well, I'm going to share another, since you're sharing a little story, I'm going to actually share a quick story about Victor and Fran, both of our brothers, because he did this to both of us when we were dating and we lived in Cromwell, Connecticut. And I specifically remember, I know you have a date story, but my specific date story was I had a date with this boy named Sal, who had these big, beautiful white pearly teeth, but they were just really big teeth. And because they were so big, he just had this bigger, larger than life smile. It was just, he had a gorgeous smile, or has a gorgeous smile. And I remember him coming to the door, and our parents always lingered, knowing that, you know, we were going to answer the door, because we would try to rush to be the one to answer the door to beat out the rest of the family, because it was like a clown show, good golly. But anywho, so he comes, and of course he just has that smile, and he always wore the smile, because I think, you know, sometimes it was kind of hard for him to like close his mouth because his teeth were so big, but they're beautiful teeth. And both of them, Victor and Francis, both looked at my parents and said, would you trust him? Like, you're gonna let her go out with him? Like, look at him, he can't even stop smiling. And they just went on and on and on. Of course, I'm rolling my eyeballs, and he is taken off guard, and he's still smiling. And my mother goes, yeah, mommy says, what is up with that smile? Why are you smiling? He's like, oh, I'm, you know, and I'm like, oh my God. I go, we gotta go, you know, we'll see you later. Now, mind you, this boy, Sal, went to school with them. Like, I think he was in Victor's grade, or maybe, now I'm pretty sure he was in Victor's grade. And I'm thinking, you're just one of your own classmates, and you're, you know, harassing him and embarrassing me. And then, of course, you know, mommy's got to put her 2 cents in. And of course, daddy, being just the even keeled, you know, shook his hand. And he says, just, you know, have a nice time with my daughter. And he kind of summed it up really well at that point. But oh my, they wouldn't stop. They really, and I'm giving a snippet of what they said. They said a lot more, but that's what they would do.
And I'm cracking up because when we brought Daddy to Florida to see your house, and we were all together, the 5 siblings, and we were talking about all these stories growing up, and Daddy just obviously enjoyed it, and we were all laughing. And so I brought up, I said, yeah, Fran and Victor. I said, by the way, I said, thank you. I never had a second date ever. And they, and I don't know why they did it to me. Like I never had a second date. The date would come to the door. And it wasn't so much that it was mommy and daddy, because who wouldn't be scared a little bit of mom? She was just that, I don't want to say abrupt, but
bigger than life.
She was, yeah, bigger than life. But Fran and Victor, basically with him, the date up against the door. How long have you had your license? We need to see your gas. We need to see your gas tank. Where are you going? What time are you going to bring her home? We're going to follow you. Like, it was just, it was terrible. So yeah, I never had a second date. So as we're talking about this, and Victor just calmly looked at me and he said, that's because they weren't, that just wasn't going to happen. You just weren't ready for it, or however he said it.
I don't know. He said it was funny.
But he said it very seriously. We all.
Oh, he was dead serious. He was dead serious. And they were funny that way. And I think they would pick and choose. Now, obviously, the boys that I was dating, they knew, or that was in their classes. I generally dated, boys 2, 3, 4 years older than I was. So they would have some sort of connection to them. So I think they still hassle them, but more, not as much, because they were classmates with most of them. But where the people that you were dating were closer to my age, which would have been under Fran and Vic, and they probably didn't know them as well. So they were easier prey.
Well, they most certainly were. And I think after the 6th or 7th time, I'm like, screw this. I'm not dating for a while. Done. Thank you. Thank you for making that imprint on me, but all in good fun. And oh my God, we had so many good laughs. So those are some great stories. And that's what always makes moments to be celebrated, whether it be Mindset Monday, Triumph Tuesday, Wealth Wellness Wednesday, Trending Thursday, or Fantabulous Friday. And so many great things happening, and you just never know what is going to happen or when it's going to happen. And to live in the moment, cherish those moments, those memories, as we are sharing. I'm going to have to come up with some other Victor kind of stories. I'm sure I have to go back to my memory bank.
Oh, I do remember now. How cool is this? Which, a lot of people, don't know really his history of, why he is and what he does. And when we were children, our brothers also, and especially Victor, had a fascination with obviously NASA and space. And we would take empty the rolls, the actual rolls, and or rolls from paper towels. So you have that little cardboard roll that's in the center. So we would collect them, and we would bags and bags of them. And they both were into models as well, but they would make homemade rockets, with, that would go up, because they had the powder or whatever, the boosters and all that of what, and it really simulated a regular rocket. So I always tagged along with them when they went on their paper routes. I'd help them. I just loved hanging out with them. And I also helped when they were going to launch a rocket, whether it be to assist holding something or help them glue something or whatever. So this one particular time, and actually it was the pivotal time, because it was the time that it really caught the news. And there was an article in the newspaper, and NASA ended up contacting him, and he ended up getting to see a launch and all of that. So it really led him to this big career. But he also, we needed a capsule, because he decided he was going to put up a gerbil.
I thought it was a mouse.
No, it was a gerbil.
Oh.
No, it wasn't a mouse. It was a gerbil. And he took a coffee. So he took the coffee cups, the styrofoam, what they still have today, styrofoam coffee cup, and we flipped it over so it looked like a NASA capsule. We had a little door, and it was all glued in, and we put the gerbil inside of it. And also within that, it had a parachute. So it simulated a real rocket, looked like a real rocket. and, had the starter. So there was all the wires, and we had a countdown launch. And I think that was the one I got to actually let me push the button. And sure enough, the rocket goes up, and we're praying, and so then the booster comes, and simulation just like a regular rocket from NASA, and all of a sudden you see and it goes out. It went pretty high, and we would always do these in different spots of the park. We always had to do them early, where no one was like really around. So the capsule comes down, it's like floating, because it's got the parachute on it. And so what we did, because we were filming this, the old, old movie cameras. So we paused it, and because we wanted to make sure that the gerbil was still alive before we continued filming. Because what if you opened it and, we didn't know. And the gerbil, of course, was alive. It was a successful launch, which in turn led, it was a great article in the Hartford Times and the Hartford Current. And it got picked up by, major news. And then he ended up being invited to go see a launch. It was one of the bigger launches too. I can't remember which one it was. He would know that better, but it was one of, I can't remember which one it was, but it was a pretty big one that had significance with, men doing something, astronauts doing something. But and then he goes on to, be in the Navy and then become an engineer and work for NASA and all the other subdivisions. And, what a wonderful career. So kind of cool how you have that passion when you're young.
Right.
And same thing happened with Fran. In all our different passions, I believe our mom had a big influence in being an entrepreneur and working for ourselves and podcasts and speaking. We both love to write. I think we're both really good writers. Actually got a great compliment today. I had a friend read a response email to the school committee that I had to send off, and she goes, "Can you read it to me?" So I said, "Sure." And I said, "I like to read it. I always read my emails aloud before I send them because I want to hear the tone, the flow." She goes, "Did you, did you graduate? Did you have like journalism?" And she was very impressed with my writing ability. And I said, "No, it's just a gift that, my sister and I both have, and we learned it from our mom, and we like to write. And we're, I think, pretty good speakers, because we speak at different events. And it's just, the different gifts you get from your family. So I think that's pretty cool."
Yeah, that definitely is. And, I think of, mom starting out, and then how she started Silver Blade Tours. Claudine took over Silver Blade Tours. Fran being the national world figure skating gold medalist. Victor, oh my gosh, he's so smart and intelligent. And I just admire his dedication and, the rocket scientist. And
He is. He truly is.
Yes, he is. Yeah, and Gary, by the way, didn't initially believe me, but yeah, then he did, of course. But in
Cass, right. Well, I think we all aspire to have different gifts from our families, and we are really, really blessed that way. So we encourage all of you on this Fantabulous Friday, don't you think? To kind of reminisce, think about the goodness and the fantastic things within your own circle, within your own family, with your relatives and whatnot, and look at, sometimes the talent is not even that obvious, and you realize, oh, wow. As simple as you have a great talent that you probably don't realize that I picked up after I realized how you did it, is folding towels. Now that sounds a little bizarro, but you are, have such a neat and tidy laundry closet. And you've always folded your towels a little bit differently, and I've adapted that, and I've also done some unique things about how to fold up sheets, because that's one of my biggest pet peeves, if they're not like.
Oh, that's so funny that you said that, because back in January, one of my friends she posted this picture on Facebook and said, "I just can't, oh my God, how do you fold these sheets?" So I had just got done folding mine. I snapped a picture of it, and she's like, "What the heck?" I have a knack for that. I like simplistic type of things, and with towels, I don't like to see the edges. I like to see nice. That's it.
Yeah, the roundness.
Yeah,
I agree.
Things have to be folded a certain way. And thank you, by the way. I don't know if I said this.
Yes, so, you are now.
Yes, we all have an amazing talent, and I go back to when we first established TwoSistas and a book, as it was called back then, and having that conversation and then saying, oh, by the way, I think we should have, I said to you, I think we should do a podcast. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. You get it set up, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, not knowing how to do it. But the point I'm trying to make is all of you out there have a voice, and your voice needs to be heard. And what better way to share what you're passionate about, what you can give to the world, so that somebody who needs to hear your voice hears it in a way where they can obviously listen to it or not, but more importantly, to impact that person to maybe take a better path on something than they may or may not be doing. And really, that was kind of the premise of starting TwoSistas. And I've often said as well that obviously we chat before we go on live, and I've learned, I kind of crack up about this. I've learned that you should not say to Carroll Sue before you're ready to get on live, I don't want to talk about this, or I don't want to talk about that, because inevitably it comes up, but it comes up in a good way. So, and I think that I'm getting better with the camera aspect. Very afraid of it at first, almost like I want to say fearful of what people would think, I guess, maybe in a weird kind of way. But it's not that I don't care, but it's that I've stepped into something more of what I am meant to be and meant to do. And that's why I love doing this with you, obviously. And today is our 313th episode. So we have 27 more episodes before we reach that milestone. We want to hear your voice. And speaking of reaching people, I received, and Carroll, so I didn't tell you about this yet, I received an email from somebody in Australia.
Woo!
Who's heard of TwoSistas and wants to be on. So like Australia, like the point being that you don't know who you're going to reach or who wants to reach you to also share what they're passionate about. So I think that it's just so amazing to be able to reach out to people, not only digitally, obviously, you're in Florida, I'm in Connecticut, but to somebody in Australia, that blows me away. And by the way, we are adding to our list of where you can find the TwoSistas, and we are now on a new video platform called BIT Shoot, CHUT.
I know BitChute. I didn't know we were on there though, but that's good to know.
As of yesterday.
All right,
As
BitChute.
of yesterday. So, I mean, so many different ways to view, to listen. How are you going to make an impact today? Make your impact zone, make it a fantabulous Friday. I think that's just amazing.
It is. And, like I said, you think of different things that, are in your realm of, your family, your friends, and there's nothing better than great dialogue. And I think the sad piece about our world today, which does impact our health and wellness, is not hearing people's voices. People are so apt to, that quick text, that email, messaging, social media platforms, that they forget that, I'll receive messages from friends. I'm like, just pick up the phone and call, and vice versa. Because I know they would like to hear, there's nothing better than hearing the person's voice, their passion, their excitement of what's going on in their lives. And I think, and we are guilty of it too, that, we rely too much on devices to be the form of communication. And this Fantabulous Friday, I've made a commitment because this is the first day of the last quarter that I'm going to tackle at least, and I say tackle because sometimes tackling time within your day is a struggle. but making the point that I'm going to make 2 phone calls a day every Friday. And I'm going to do this for the last quarter, and hopefully this is going to become a habit. Someone that I haven't talked to in a while. And, you know I may get their voicemail, and that's okay. I'll be able to hopefully hear their voice on the voicemail if they don't pick up, but either chat with them for a few minutes or, you know, leave them a voice message. And so they hear me and I get to hear them, because I think that's, you know, with what we've been going through for the last, you know, 2 years of this, you know, up and down, this crazy time that we're in, or coming close to 2 years, and being, you know, whether it's shut down, stuck at home, or whatever. And while the good thing is people have used and utilized Zoom and those kinds of apps and FaceTime, it's great to see the person as well. But sometimes you don't have that opportunity, so at least just to hear their voice. So that is what I'm, you know, going to put on my to-do list every Friday, is make sure that I schedule myself a lot of time in my busy schedule to make sure that I am actually physically calling people that I know. So if you're out there and you get a random call from me, it's my mission.
You know, I think that is so important. I was moderating the Clubhouse room this morning, my first time officially moderating and co-hosting this topic. And we were chatting about that very thing, about texting and, you know, chatting online, instant messages. And sometimes you don't get the depth. You don't hear the passion in somebody's voice if you're not talking to them. So I think that is a great idea. And what better way to do that? Create your impact zone by impacting somebody else's life. That
Absolutely. And it sounds like you've got a meeting that you've got to go to. I hear something.
Oh, let me just turn that down. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
Oh boy.
That happens. She has 2 things scheduled at once, and I know you got to go, but it is Fantabulous Friday. We're going to close this down, and we want to wish you a great, great weekend. You know, try to do something out of your comfort zone. You know, do something like maybe a different exercise, reach out to somebody, or what? Pick up the phone, call, say hello.
Hear the passion.
Call me. I'll answer. I promise. I answer. I'm going to turn my thing up. But anyways, it is Fantabulous Friday. You have a great day. This is Carroll Sue, aka Naughty Bus, live with 2
Sisters. Hey, it's Janis, Wellness Diva 5.0, Organization Diva 10.0. Victor, happy birthday. And no, I will not quit my day job. Love you all. Have a fantabulous Friday. Bye.
Bye-bye.